Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Loop Red River Exhibition Park. It is a fantastic afternoon. We've got 3 races on the card today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Not quite as windy as yesterday, a few clouds up in the sky, but it's going to be beautiful, about 23 degrees. I think everybody's going to have a great time, and we've got some great matchups for you later on this afternoon. So, again, racing starts about 1 o'clock today. Welcome to the Fall Fair for 2024 and the Loop at Red River Exhibition Park. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Loop, Red River Exhibition Park, Winnipeg, Manitoba. It is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon. Just a little bit of a breeze, but not much to talk about. Some high clouds starting to move in, but nothing that's going to affect us for the afternoon. The track is fast, and it is, like I said, a great, great day for racing. We've got a short card of only 3 races for you today because most of the horses raced yesterday afternoon. If you are looking online, you may notice that we are going to announce the lines for each race. So let's take you through race number 1 to start off with and announce the lines from yesterday to help you out. For race number 1, horse number 1, Chocolate Bomb, finished 7th yesterday in a time of 2:08 and 4. That's Chocolate Bomb. Yesterday was 7th at a time of 2:08 and 4. Your number 2 horse, Tina, raced yesterday, finished 4th in a time of 2:07 and 4. That's 4th in a time of 2:07 and 4. Peekaboo Pebbles, the number 3 horse, raced yesterday, finished 6th in a time of 2:08 and 2. That's Peekaboo Pebbles yesterday, 6th at a time of 2:08 and 2. The number 4 horse, Fancy That, also raced yesterday, finished 2nd in a time of 2:06 and 4. Finished 2nd by a nose, by the way, a very, very close finish on that one. Again, Fancy That finished 2nd yesterday in a time of 2:06 and 4. And last but certainly not least, the number 5 horse, Mrs. Little Bozo, raced yesterday, finished 4th in her race by a time of 2:08 and 2. That's 4th in a time of 2:08 and 2. And there you have it. You're up to date on the lines for race number 1 this afternoon from the Loop. And speaking of the first race of the day, we're going to be starting this day off with a maiden matchup, which means most of the horses in this field have yet to win a race. A couple of them have. My pick for the first race comes from 4th off the rail. We are going to pick Fancy That. The 4-year-old has finished in the money 3 times this season, has flirted with first in more than a few races as well. Daryl Mason, who's, he's on the bike for this one. He's been a little snake bitten so far this season. Also comes so close to a couple of wins yesterday. But I say horse and driver put it all together today and hit that winner's circle together for the first time. So my pick to win race number 1, Fancy That. For second place, I like Peekaboo Pebbles, the number 3 horse. Not as experienced as Fancy That. And although the Manitoba bred filly has 1 win this season, that's been her only time in the money so far in her career. It'll be a nice race, but today I think Bridesmaid, the best that she can hope for. And for third, let's go right along the rail with Chocolate Bomb. Finished 2nd a couple of weeks back when she started 6th. 2 other times she's been in the money. Plus, going off at 6-1 in the early morning odds could give you a tri-actor bet with a very, very nice little boost to it. So, for race number 1, let's make it a 4-3-1. 4-3-1 for race number 1. By the way, this is also race number 1 of the Daily Double, where you got a chance to pick the winner of our first 2 races today. My Double D choice for this one is going to be numbers 4 and 1. So 4 in the first, number 1 in the second. And it's also race number 1 of today's Pick 3 feature. Another chance for you to make a multi-race wager. If you can correctly pick the winners of all 3 races today, you'll walk away than more when you started with. Guaranteed that. My pick for the Pick 3 is 4, 1, and 5. Again, 4, 1, and 5 for the Pick 3 feature. Good luck from the Loop. And now with his look ahead to race number 1 this afternoon, let's throw it over to the professor. Here's Mike Williams. All right, folks, the horses are coming out onto the track for race number one of our three-race card this afternoon. Race number one for a purse of $4,200. As we mentioned earlier, this is the first half as well of the Daily Double and the Pick 3 Feaster, all races 1, 2, and 3. Let's introduce you to everybody taking part in race number one, coming around the turn and getting ready to pass in front of the grandstand. That's the number one horse, Chocolate Bomb. Chocolate Bomb, driven by Paula Mason and trained by Sherry Mason. Your number two horse right behind is Tina, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. There's a nice wave from Clayton. Your number three horse coming along in front of the grandstand, that is Peekaboo Pebbles, driven by Don Howlett, trained by Matthew Howlett. The number four horse, Fancy That, with Daryl Mason on the reins, trainer Sherry Mason. And your number five horse for race number one is Mrs. Little Bozo, driven and trained by Mark Filion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the horse has been called to the post. So, as they make the turn and head down to the back stretch and get themselves into position, let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part in race number 1 this afternoon. Your number 1 horse is Chocolate Bomb with Paula Mason on the bike. Number 2 is Clayton Braybrook holding the reins of Tina. Number 3 is Peekaboo Pebbles with your driver, Don Howlett. Number 4, Fancy That, driven by Daryl Mason. And number 5 is Mrs. Little Bozo, driven by Mark Filion. Like we said, the horses are getting themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are at the post. They're coming around the turn. Swing open that gate and watch them ponies accelerate. We are pacing race number 1 on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here at the Loop at Red River Exhibition Park. Going down into that first turn and taking the early advantage, it is Fancy That with Daryl Mason on the reins. Daryl Mason has not won one yet this year, and we're hoping maybe this time around he's going to get off that schneid and get himself a win. Following closely behind, that's Peekaboo Pebbles. And then we've got ourselves Mrs. Little Bozo with Tina and Chocolate Bomb at the back of the pack watching everybody else. As we pass the first quarter in a time of 30-4, the leader is still Fancy That with Daryl Mason on the reins. It's Fancy That coming around turn number 2, followed by Mrs. Little Bozo, Peekaboo Pebbles, Chocolate Bomb, and Tina. Fancy That continues to show the way with Peekaboo Pebbles in behind, Mrs. Little Bozo, and Tina. Then it is Fancy That. Fancy That is continuing to lead the race as we hit the halfway point at 1 minute and 3. Fancy That has led right from the very beginning and continues to do so, followed closely by Peekaboo Pebbles, Mrs. Little Bozo, and Tina. And at the back, we have a judge's inquiry, ladies and gentlemen. So at the end of the race, make sure you hold all tickets. Again, judge's inquiry. As we go down the back stretch for the final time, it is still Fancy That showing the way, followed by Peekaboo Pebbles, Mrs. Little Bozo, Tina, and Chocolate Bomb. Fancy That continues to show the way, lengthening her lead as we come around the final turn and head towards home. It is Fancy That, followed by Peekaboo Pebbles. Then it is Tina, Chocolate Bomb, and Mrs. Little Bozo. As we make the run towards home, it is still Fancy That. Fancy That has led wire to wire. Fancy That is going to win. It is going to be Fancy That coming across the finish line first. Fancy That followed by Peekaboo Pebbles and Mrs. Little Bozo in a time of 2:02.1. Your winner is Fancy That. Just a reminder, though, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a judge's inquiry. So hold all tickets. A judge's inquiry, hold all tickets, but unofficially, your winner at a time of 2:02.1 is Fancy That. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winner in a time of 2:02 and 1 is Fancy That. Fancy That, your winner, driven by Daryl Mason, trained by Sherry Mason. The 4-year-old bay horse by Ambro Baylor out of Cordy's Fantasy from Mystery Chase, is owned by Terrell and Sherry Mason from Killarney, Manitoba. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is official now. Your winner at a time of 2:02 and 1. Fancy that. So your top down order of finish for race number 1 is going to read like this: 5 placed fourth, 4th placed third, 2 placed 5th due to interference in the first turn and a judge's inquiry. Fancy that. The number 4 horse placed first, and 3 placed 2. 5 placed 4, 4 placed 3, 2 placed 5, 1, and 3 placed 2. That'll do it for race number 1 this afternoon. We'll have the payouts from race number 1 coming up shortly, but first let's take a look to race number 2, and we're going to read the lines from race number 2 for yesterday on your programs. If you were taking a look, let's read the lines from yesterday's racing. So for the second race, the number 1 horse, Colonel Kelly, placed third yesterday at a time of 2:03 and 2. Third at a time of 2:03 and 2. Your number 2 horse, Be Special, yesterday placed fifth in a time of 2:06 and 1. Fifth in a time of 2:06 and 1. The number 3 horse, Trust Me a Lot, yesterday ran sixth in her race in a time of 2:05 and 1. Sixth in a time of 2:05 and 1. The number 4 horse, Irish Gene, ran fourth yesterday in a time of 2:03 and 3. That's fourth at a time of 2:03 and 3. Your number 5 horse, Tajmania, placed third yesterday in a time of 2:03 and 4. 2:03 and 4. And last but not least, Flying Officer, the number 6 horse today, finished sixth yesterday in a time of 2:04 even. Sixth in a time of 2:04 even. Taking a look at the payouts from race number 1. Fancy That paid $4 to win, $2.50 to place, $3.30 to show. Mrs. Little Bozo paid $3 to place, $2.60 to show. No money on Tina. The $1 exactor 4-5 paid $10.95, while your 20-cent triactor 4-5-2 paid $22.20. All right, folks, let's take a look ahead to race number 2 on this 3-race card, this shortened card for this afternoon. And the horse I'm going to go with today begins right along the rail, the number 1 horse, Colonel Kelly. The Colonel finished 3rd yesterday afternoon, just a little over 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Starting in first gives him an automatic time advantage. I think he'll use it to find the winner's circle. For my place pick, I'm going to go with the number 5 horse, Tasmania. Since coming to the Loop from out west the second week of August, the 6-year-old has been a dominating force, picking up back-to-back wins. Ran the 7th race yesterday, where he finished 3rd in just over 2:03. If he was starting a few spots closer to the rail, I'd like him for the win today. But I think he's just got too much ground to try and make up. So we're going to take Tasmania, the number 5 horse, to finish 2nd. And my choice for 3rd comes from the far outside, the number 6 horse, Flying Officer. Gelding, no stranger to outside post positions, almost seems to do a little bit better when he has a chance to swoop in on his competition and run from the outside. Finished 6th yesterday. I think he's got something left in the tank and will make it really, really interesting in the end and come in for 3rd place. So for race number 2, my picks are 1, 5, and 6. 1, 5, and 6. Good luck from the Loop. And now with a recap on race number 1 and a look ahead to race number 2, let's throw it over to the professor, Mike Williams.
Well, thanks again, Frank. I'll tell you, this track to me is lightning fast. When you got that field in that first race, they were pacing miles in 2.6 and 2.7 yesterday, the same horses. And we went 2-2 and 1 today. We have got a super, super fast track here for sure. So congratulations to Daryl Mason. After 45 starts, he's finally got to the winning circle, and he looked good doing it. So congratulations to the combination of Daryl Mason and Sherry Mason. Job well done. Let's go right to race number 2. We got a good 6-horse field here. I'm going to stick with Tasmania. I bet him yesterday. A lot of traffic problems just around the far bend coming to home. It looked like he was stretched about 6 or 7 wide, lost a lot of ground, picked himself up, and still came back and finished 3rd. I don't think he should have that problem today. Tasmania will probably pull the trigger like he always does, just past the quarter. I think he's going to go right on by. I don't think it's going to be an easy win by any means, but I think we'll get the job done here in race number 2. And I agree with Frank. This Flying Officer gets Don Hallett aboard. One of the top driver here is 7 of the last 8 years, I think. So that's only going to help this horse. Not that Tyler did a bad job with him, but it's not going to hurt having Don Hallett aboard, Flying Officer. He's going to move this one early as well, and I think he's going to be challenging Tasmania down the lane. We're going to have a good close horse race here. Colonel Kelly raced a good strong mile yesterday. 2:03 and 2 was a good mile yesterday in the big heavy wind that we had here. Draws the inside. A lot of post relief. So I think Colonel Kelly's going to be picking up the pieces coming home. It's going to be a good horse race, guys. $4,700 purse. I'm going to go with the 5, 6, and 1 in race number 2. Good luck. We'll see everybody back in race number 3.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the horses are on the track for race number 2. Let's introduce you to everybody taking part. That number 1 horse is Colonel Kelly, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. Number 2 horse is Be Special with driver Sherry Mason, trained by Aaron Mason. The number 3 horse, Trust Me a Lot, driven by Tyler Grundy, trained by Jacqueline Grundy. There's the number 4 horse, Irish Jean, driven by Paula Mason, trained by Clayton Braybrook. Your number 5 horse is Tasmania, driven by Glenn LeDrew, trained by Trevor Williams. And coming around the turn and going to be crossing in front of the grandstand very shortly, that's the number 6 horse, Flying Officer, driven by Don Howlett and trained by Jacqueline Grundy. All right, folks, the horses have been called to the post as they head around the turn, get ready to go down the backstretch and get themselves into position. Let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part in race number 2 this afternoon for a purse of $4,700. Your number 1 horse is Colonel Kelly, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. B Special is the number 2 horse with driver Sherry Mason on the bike. Number 3, Trust Me a Lot, driven by Tyler Grundy. Your number 4 horse is Paula Mason driving Irish Jean. That's Daryl Mason, by the way. Number 2 horse is Daryl Mason, the driver. Number 5 horse is Taj Mania, driven by Glenn LeDrew. And number 6 is Flying Officer, driven by Don Howlett. The horses are getting themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are lined up as we come around the turn. They're at the post. Swing open that gate and watch them ponies accelerate. We are pacing race number 2 from the Loop on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Heading down into that first turn, it is Colonel Kelly taking advantage of the inside position on the rail for the early lead, followed by Daryl Mason and B Special. The field stringing itself out now with Trust Me a Lot, Irish Jean, Tasmania, and Flying Officer all falling in line behind. As we head down we've got a break on the number 2 horse, B Special, at the back of the pack as we hit that first quarter time in 30 seconds evenly. It is going to be Colonel Kelly still in the lead as we come around turn number 2. Colonel Kelly followed by B Special, Trust Me a Lot, and Flying Officer. It is Colonel Kelly, B Special, Trust Me a Lot, Flying Officer, and Tasmania. Tasmania was the horse that had the early break and is now starting to get herself back into the pack. Colonel Kelly is continuing to lead as they have from the very beginning as we hit the halfway point at a time of 1 minute and 4. But now Flying Officer starting to put on some speed as we come around turn number 3. They are 2 abreast with Colonel Kelly and Flying Officer both showing some speed. Colonel Kelly continues to show the way, but like I said, here comes Flying Officer. B Special now in the number 2 spot with Trust Me a Lot, followed behind by Tasmania at the back of the pack. As we come down the back stretch for the final time, it is still Colonel Kelly in a battle with Flying Officer, 3/4 time, 1:31 and 1. Colonel Kelly, Flying Officer, B Special, Tasmania, and Irish Jean watching the rest. It is Colonel Kelly trying to make that move from the outside, but Flying Officer, rather, trying to make the move from the outside. Colonel Kelly holding off all comers as we come around the final turn and into that home stretch. It is still Colonel Kelly, and Colonel Kelly looks like she's going to be a wire-to-wire winner. Colonel Kelly at the post. Oh, just not quite enough time for Flying Officer to make it up. Your winner in a time of 2 minutes and 4 is Colonel Kelly. It's official, ladies and gentlemen, in a time of 2 minutes and 4 even. It is Colonel Kelly, your winner in race number 2, in a time of 2 minutes and 4. Your driver is Clayton Braybrook, trained as well by Clayton Braybrook. The 7-year-old bay gelding by You Should See Me Now out of Northfield Nelly from Mystery Chase and owned by Clayton Braybrook of Kindersley, Saskatchewan. Congratulations to Clayton Braybrook and Colonel Kelly, the winner of race number 2. Your top down order of finish on your program 145 632. 145 632. Colonel Kelly, again, your winner at a time of 2 minutes and 4, paid $21.70 to win, $3 to place, $2.10 to show. Flying Officer, the second place horse, paid $2.70 to place and $2.10 to show. Tasmania, $2.10 to show. Your $1 exactor, 1.6, paid $18.85. 20-cent triactor, 165, 165, paid $6.31. And your $1 daily double, 4.6, paid $5.75. All right, let's take a look ahead to race number 3, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to read the line first off for race number 3. These are from yesterday's races. We've got a couple of horses in this race that did not run yesterday, but for the horses that did run, in race number 3, your number 1 horse, Tammy Blue, ran yesterday and placed 6th in a time of 2:04 and 4. 6th in a time of 2:04 and 4. Your number 2 horse, Senga Savannah, did not race yesterday. Number 3 horse, Appoggiatura, ran 2nd yesterday and finished in the time of 2:03 and 1. 2:03 and 1. Your number 4 horse, You're So Serious, not at the Loop yesterday. Number 5, Litazor, ran yesterday, won their race, finished first in a time of 2:02 even. That's finished first in a time of 2:02 even. And taking a look now at our third and final race for the afternoon. This one featuring a newcomer, like I said, to the Loop. You're So Serious. The number 4 horse makes his debut today after running out west all season long. Has to be considered a serious threat right off the bat. Going to be interesting to see how he does today, though. Brand new track, brand new driver on the reins. So I think we're going to find out very, very soon. The horse, though, that I'm picking to win this one comes from right outside number 5, Litazor. The 6-year-old and driver Don Howlett were winners yesterday. I think they'll turn the trick again today. For second, I am going to go with the newcomer, You're So Serious. Based on past performance elsewhere, it is obvious this is a nice horse with a lot of game. This isn't elsewhere, though. This is the Loop. And like I said earlier, new track, new hands on the reins. It might be just a little too much of an adjustment for the 4-year-old, but I think he's still going to make things very, very interesting. And for third, let's bump the odds of our triactor wager and take the number 3 horse, Appoggiatura. Ran a very strong second yesterday, but I think he still has something left in his tank. Plus, with the early odds favor of 6-1, if he finishes in the top 3, like I said, that'll just push your winnings up a little bit higher. So for this one, bet the triactor, in other words, the 3 horses that will finish 1, 2, 3 in any order, and take 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, and finish your day with a great big smile. Good luck from the Loop. And now with a recap on race number 2 and a look ahead to the third race this afternoon, we turn it over to the professor, Mr. Mike Williams.
Thanks again, Frank. Yeah, Colonel Kelly, well-deserved mile, 2 minutes and a piece. Finished third yesterday in 2:03 and 2. It's about 17 lengths difference from yesterday than today. So again, that track is absolutely super fast. So good race. Tasmania had a little trouble. Horse broke in front of him there. Had a spot to feel about 10. I look for this horse next week. He's just had a little bad racing luck this week. And Flying Officer, Don Hallett, wow, he made it a close race there. So congratulations to Connections of Clayton Braybrook, driver and trainer. Job well done. Let's go to the finale, race number 3. And we got a dandy one here in this 5-horse field. This is basically the open with maybe Army Captain Hanover out of it. Litazor went impressively yesterday, 2:02 flat. Probably tied the fastest mile of the day yesterday. Choose to Cruise also raced the same type of mile. But Litazor, post 5 or not, has won the Open, I think, 2 or 3 times. Definitely deserves the respect in here, and you're going to have to give Litazor the nod in race number 1. Why are you so serious? You know, if it hadn't been a month layoff, or a little over a month, it would definitely be my number 1 pick, pacing some pretty good miles. It's made just shy of 34,000 already this year, just in 17 starts. No horse can outleave this one in this race. I can promise you that. Showing quarters of 26 seconds getting to the front. You look at the last line down, 26 and 4 from the 5 hole, and got right to the front wire to wire in 54 and 4. So give this horse a start. He's going to get to the front. Who knows? It's a nice little horse, but I take Why Are You So Serious for second in the exactor. Apocatura raced a large mile yesterday in 2, 3, and 1. Finished second, was closing like a bearcat. You can never count that horse out. Looks like a good way to end the day, but I'm going to go with Litazor, 5, 4, and 3, race number 3. See everybody out next week. I think we're going to have 8 races, full fields, and long forecast. Looks like a beautiful day. See everybody back at the Loop next Saturday, 1 o'clock post time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the horses are on the track. Let's introduce you to everybody taking part in this, the third and final race of the afternoon for a purse of $5,200. Your number one horse is Tammy Blue, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. Your number two horse is Senga Savannah, driven by Tyler Grundy, trained by Jacqueline Grundy. Appoggiatura is the number three horse, driven by Daryl Mason, trained by Clayton Braybrook. Your number four horse, brand new to the loop, making their debut. It's You're So Serious, driven by Glenn Ledrew, trained by Trevor Williams. And the number five horse is Litizor, driven by Don Howlett and trained by Matthew Howlett. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, today might be the last day of the Fall Fair for 2024, but certainly not the last day for all kinds of fun at the Red River X this year. Coming up in October from the 11th to the 27th, selected dates through the weekends, it is Witchy Wonderland. Why not visit with the family and have a not so frightful good time as Manitoba's newest multi day Halloween attraction comes back once again? Put on your favorite Halloween costume and experience a new world of enchanting activities and spectacular festivities that will leave you and the little ones grinning from ear to ear. Get ready to enjoy it. A not so frightful good time for the entire family coming in October to Red River X Witchy Wonderland. All right, folks, as the horses head down the back stretch and get themselves ready to position for this, our third and final race this afternoon, let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part. This time around, the number one horse is Tammy Blue, driven by Clayton Braybrook. Your number two horse is Senga Savannah with Tyler Grundy on the reins. Appoggiatura is the number three horse, driven by Daryl Mason. Your number four horse, You're So Serious, driven by Glenn LeDrew. And the number five horse is Litazor with driver Don Howlett. The horses are getting themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are lined up as we come around the turn. They're at the post. Swing open that gate and watch them ponies accelerate. We are pacing, taking advantage and moving quickly down into the inside from the number four spot. It's the brand new horse making her debut today here at the Loop. You're So Serious. You're So Serious breaks out to the early lead, followed very closely behind by Litazor, then Tammy Blue, Appoggiatura, and Senga Savannah bringing up the rear. Now it is Litazor moving past You're So Serious to take over top spot as we head towards the quarter pole. And we hit that quarter pole at a time of 29-3. It is You're So Serious. It is You're So Serious continuing to lead now as we head down into turn number two, followed closely by Litazor. Then it's Tammy Blue, Appoggiatura, and Senga Savannah. You're So Serious still showing the way as Litazor continues to stay very close with Tammy Blue and Appoggiatura right on their heels as well. And it is Tammy Blue at the back of the pack. As we hit the halfway point in a time of 1 minute even, a good halfway mark, it is still You're So Serious showing the way for everybody. You're So Serious is continuing to show the way, followed by Litazor, Tammy Blue, Appoggiatura, and Senga Savannah. As we cruise down that back stretch and continue to have You're So Serious showing the way, it is coming up to the three-quarter post at a time of 1:30 even. You're So Serious still in the lead. It's Litazor trying to make a move from the outside, but You're So Serious holding off all comers as we come around the final turn. Litazor now starting to close the distance a little bit with You're So Serious hanging on to first. It is You're So Serious, Litazor, and Tammy Blue. We're going to have a nice finish for this, our final race of the afternoon. Is there going to be enough speed as we head towards the final? It is going to be holy cow, that is a close finish. We're going to wait for the judges to tell us in a time of 1:59-2, the best time of the afternoon. It looks like it could be either You're So Serious or Tammy Blue. Hold on, folks. We're going to see what the judges have to say. We'll be back in a moment. All right, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. At a time of 1:59 and 2, your winner of our final race for the afternoon, the number 5 horse, Litazor. Litazor, driven by Don Howlett, trained by Matthew Howlett, is a 6-year-old bay gelding by Vertical Horizon out of Mother's Melody from Camistic and owned by Don Howlett of West St. Paul, Manitoba. Again, congratulations to Don Howlett and Litazor, winner of the third and final race. So your top down order of finish for this race, 3, 5, 4, 2, 1. 3, 5, 4, 2, 1. Again, for the third and final race this afternoon, your winner is Litazor. Litazor paid $470 to win, $210 to place, $210 to show. Why Are You So Serious? The number 4 horse placed second at $210 to place, $210 to show. And Tammy Blue finished third at $210 to show. Your $1 exactor 5-4 paid $1.20. Your 20-cent triactor 541 paid $1.49. And your 20-cent pick 3 415 picked $5.54. That does it for our racing for this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you so much for coming out and enjoying it with us. Don't forget, when you're done here, head over to the Fall Fair. You came for the races, stay for the corn dogs. We'll be back again next Saturday afternoon for a full program of racing. This coming Saturday and every Saturday afternoon, right through until the first week of October. Come out and join us at 1 o'clock post time. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your long weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next Saturday here at The Loop.